Mac Media Day continues from Ford Field here on cleveland.com and MLive. We're pleased to be joined by Chuck Martin, head coach of the Miami-Redhawks. Coach, appreciate the time very much. You look at this year's team, 5 starters on offense back, 4 on defense. What position groups there do you see as a strength as far as experience returning?
We got hit a little more on offense. Defense, it's a little deceiving because we lost 6 of our 8 senior starters by week 5 last year. So even though on paper from this time last year, this time this year, we have a lot of defense, but we have a lot of kids that started the last 7 games that are back starting. So we have a little more depth experience-wise on defense. Offense, the offensive line, the right side of our offensive line is back with some really good players that have played a lot of good football with Danny Godlewski and Jared LaRubia and Tommy Doyle. So I think that's been a strength. We average over 200 yards a game rushing in the league last year, which obviously if you can run the football and defend the run, you can win a lot of games. So obviously we're going to rely on those guys up front. And then we got Matt Skibinski, who's a senior. Skibbs has started a bunch of games for us. He's technically a backup last year, but he started a bunch of games. So we really feel like we got four starters back up front, which is a good starting point. Then obviously receiving, we didn't lose that. We lost a starter early in the year by week 3, but all our receivers that played the last 10 weeks are back. So led by Jack Sorensen, who had a great year for us and led our team in receptions and yards and touchdowns and everything else. So our whole receiving core is back, and we have good experience there. Obviously, quarterback is a position with Gus. We took over 5 years ago. We were a disaster, couldn't win. Talk a lot about we were 4-26 in league play over a 4-year span, and then when Gus took over, we were 16-6. The last 22 games of MAC play, and actually 15-3 when Gus started. So we won 83% of our MAC games, then you lose him, so he's obviously a huge loss. So competition's still wide open between Jackson Williamson and A.J. Mayer, and they both had good springs, but neither of them have much experience, so it's way too early to we weren't even trying to pick a starter. We were just trying to develop 2 young quarterbacks that we think are really talented.
And do you see attributes of both that you like? And by all accounts, everybody says it's really close as far as the competition goes.
Yeah, no, both talented kids. They both can run. They both can throw. They're both smart kids. They both just lack experience. So as the season goes on, it may boil right into the season. We have a crazy tough non-league schedule. I think there's 3 top 25 teams in the first 4 games, and they're all on the road.
Couple Big Ten teams.
Yes. So we will. The competition may run even through the non-MAC schedule to give them both experience because they both, and 2 to just see kind of how it sorts out.
If you looked at an area on the football team and said, if we can kind of get this heading in the right direction, we'll be in pretty good shape this year. Is there an area that like that you can look at?
Yeah, our pass defense wasn't. It certainly improved as the year went on, but it wasn't where we would like to be when you're talking about trying to contend for a MAC championship. We were pretty good against the run for the most part. The teams that hurt us, and in particular in league player teams that threw it around a little bit, I think it can go from a weakness to a strength. I think we were very inexperienced at corner a year ago, and now we have a ton of experience at corner. So obviously that makes a huge difference for us. And then I think our pass rush will be better than it was. So I think it was an area of weakness for us and an area of concern. It still is, but I think it's an area that we shown really strong improvement in the spring, and hopefully we can continue improving. We're talking about how good our pass defense is this year.
6-6 overall, 6-2 in the MAC. Won your last 3, and you mentioned you had to play some young guys because of injuries. Does that kind of help you and go into this year, those last 3 games, in the way you play?
It does a little bit. We think we're a pretty good MAC team. We thought we were a pretty good MAC team the last 3 years, which our record has been. Obviously, we haven't won a lot of non-league games, and we got a daunting non-league schedule again. So we have to compete as hard as we can and take our shots at some really good teams and enjoy playing in those venues. But also then we got to get ready for MAC play because we open up with, I think, Buffalo and Western and Northern the first 3 weeks. So, but we've been through it. We had a tough stretch down the end of the year. We played at Army, then we played at Buffalo, then we played at home against OU, and we're at Northern Illinois. And obviously didn't win the first 2, but played Buffalo tight, and then had 2 great wins against OU and Northern, who were the other 2 teams that were tied at 6-2. So we have confidence in the league that we're a good MAC team. We're still pushing to try to take the next step and get in the championship game. We've done kind of everything in the last 3 years, but do that. So our kids have confidence they're a good MAC team. Non-league, well, I think our kids have more confidence than maybe they should against some of the opponents we have.
That's not a bad thing.
No, definitely not. I'm not slowing them down, but it'll be interesting. So,
were you happy with the work you got done in spring? training camp's probably 10 days away, something
Yeah.
along those lines. Were you happy with the work
Yeah,
you
no,
got?
I love my team. Like we're 2 years running of our kids work, our kids are unselfish, our kids love football, our kids love to lift, they love to run, they love to compete. So they love to be coached, they love to get better. So it's a blast to be a coach at Miami right now. Our group is an incredible group to be around. Like even today, I'm disappointed I'm not back in Oxford and hanging out with our guys because that's who they are. So I don't have any concerns with this team. I think they're going to be a fun team to watch. I know they're going to compete their tail offs, and I know we typically get better and better as the year goes on, and that's a testament to the kids that they keep working, they keep grinding. It's tough in our league because we don't all start off great non-league, and there's got to be some perseverance and some mental toughness to play good football down the stretch, and our kids have been able to do that.
Chuck Martin, we appreciate the time. Best of luck.
Thank
Head
you.
coach
Thanks
of the
for being here.
Miami University Redhawks, Chuck Martin. Mid-American Conference Football Media Day will continue here on cleveland.com and MLive.